Hey, ladies. So, before we get started tonight, I just wanted to kind of give everyone a chance to share any success you have had so far this week, either in your own journey or in helping someone, or it doesn't even have to be related to coaching whatsoever. Just something that you've done lately that has been a good thing. Anybody have anything?
Hi.
Hi.
So I am excited because I am signing up another person tonight as soon as I'm done with this. And then other than that, I haven't really, I don't know, this week hasn't been like super busy yet. So I haven't like really done a whole lot on my own. Other than I had my nursing interview last Friday, which I know Elena knows about because I've talked to her
Yes.
about that a lot. But other than that, I don't know, I was just super excited to get started this week and looking forward to February. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty much it.
I love it. So, Belinda, I'm just giving everyone a chance to share a success they've had recently. It can be related to coaching, your own health journey, just anything. Anything fun. Belinda's getting a house. That's super exciting.
Yeah, we're getting moved. Tonight, my goal was to pack 3 boxes, and I packed 3 boxes, and I'm done.
Nice. That's a good goal. It keeps it less overwhelming.
Yeah. So,
Exciting. Jesse or Tori, do either of you have any successes you'd like to share that you can think of off the top of your head?
I'm trying to figure out how to.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Jesse.
No, I am staring at a black screen right now. I am so confused and frustrated. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh, hey. Thanks,
Okay.
Lorena.
I think the only thing that I have is I finally had a conversation like with one of my family members about joining, which to me is almost harder than reaching out to somebody else. I don't know, for whatever reason. I just feel like it's more of an awkward conversation to bring up. It's more personal.
Sure.
So that happened yesterday. So I'm super excited about that. So that's about the only thing I have to share.
That's awesome. Big step of bravery in your neck of the woods. So that's awesome. Yeah. All right. So I am going to try to share my screen so I can get my presentation going. Give me a thumbs up when you guys can see this. Can y'all see it? Let me make it big. Okay, there it is. Can you guys see?
Yep.
Okay. So this is something, a topic that I kind of just randomly chose last week whenever I was scheduling the event for this call. And then our pastor talked a lot on Sunday about uncovering the true you. And I came home and instantly put this presentation together because I was just like, had all these ideas flowing. I felt like I learned a lot, not only about myself, but in ways that I can help you guys to learn more how to best use your vibe to attract your tribe. And this is something I struggled a lot with my first, really almost 3 years as a coach, because I went from being a personal trainer who just got used to feeling like I had to appeal to any single person that came into the gym from young to old. And when I became a coach, I realized that it didn't really work that way. Like the type of people that get the most success and see the most results from working with us are the ones that truly relate the most to us. So that's what I want to kind of dig into tonight, how you guys can learn how to find what your vibe is and find what things make you you, and that made you the you God created you to be, that will help you be able to better attract the women that you can work with and who will eventually be a part of your team. So first thing we're going to talk about, and I kind of want to make this a little bit kind of like workshopping, kind of this be something we talk through and things like that. But what are some things that make you you? So I'm going to read these questions, and then I'd like to kind of send it around to each of you to have you think of just a few things that you can think of off the top of your head that would be answers to this question for you. And then if anyone else wants to chime in, I know some of us don't know each other that well, but if you do know that person or you see their posts, what are some things that you might want to add to their answers? So the first one is, what makes you unique or weird? The second one is, what makes you normal? And the third one is, what are things in life that you have overcome? So I'm going to give you just a second to think about what some of your answers would be off the top of your head. And then whenever any of you are ready, just feel free to chime in. Actually, I'll start with mine while you guys are thinking. So some things that make me unique or weird, especially in the coaching realm, is I, as far as I know, am one of the only people on our team that actually has health and fitness as my career on top of coaching. And sometimes I feel like it can actually be more of a struggle because people look at me as being like, oh yeah, well, of course it's easy for her to work out. Like, that's her job on top of what she does with coaching. So it's just kind of something that comes naturally to her. Some other things that make me unique or weird are my very strong type A personality. I'm very OCD. I'm a perfectionist. I'm a type 1 on the Enneagram, if you guys don't know what that is, but I'm very much a perfectionist. I'm also very like goal oriented. And like little things like that. I'm a girl mom. My husband and I have been married for 10 years, and we are very much opposite in almost every way you can think of, except for the things that matter most, like our beliefs, the ways we want to raise our girls, and we both prefer crunchy peanut butter over smooth. Some things that make me normal. Again, the girl mom thing can be something that makes me normal. The fact that I deal a lot with anxiety, that is very common in the mom world. I am a mom. Another thing that makes me unique is I am a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also a working mom, so it's kind of an interesting mix. Some other things that make me normal, it's harder for me to think of those things than it is the weird ones, but I don't know, like just little things like that. And then some things in life that I have overcome. So one of the first things that come to mind is my labor and delivery experience with my first daughter. Like could have potentially been life-threatening for me. It was a very scary couple of days of my life. And it's never a good feeling when you hear a doctor say, we can't even give her a spinal block to do a C-section because it could cause her to hemorrhage from her spine. Like, that was something that was very like, whoo. So I had a lot of things that I struggled with. And I think that was not a very good entry into motherhood for me necessarily. And I think that made me a lot more attached to my daughter because I got that glimpse of what my life would have been like had I not made it through that situation. Some other things in life I've overcome: postpartum depression, anxiety is something. I think just being a perfectionist is something I have to work every day to overcome. I'm always working on my emotional eating issues and different things like that. So those are just a few examples of my answers. So who wants to go next with something they can think of off the top of their head?
I'll go.
Okay.
Well, I don't really know. It's hard for me to like figure stuff out, but I too, James and I like crunchy peanut butter over smooth. I caught that one. Just it still sticks. I like to fish. I like to shoot my gun. I like to boat. I like to be outside. I don't know. But normal things, I work, I come home, I do the same thing every single day. Maybe that's unique or weird. Do people do the same thing every single day? Like, I do the same things like every day. I don't know if that's normal or unique or weird, but I come home from work, I make dinner, like I'm a creature of habit, and I just do the same things every day. And then that's when I fall off on the weekend. The weekend it just goes to crap because, that's just how it is.
So you crave structure and routine.
I like structure and routine, yep. And I'm very bossy and sassy, and I'm blunt, and, I'm pretty straightforward. I'm a domestic abuse survivor. I don't know, I dealt with a lot over the last 15 years, and I feel like maybe some other people wouldn't have recovered as quickly as I have mentally. So, other than that, I'm new to church. I've just started going to church. Got a Bible. I bought a Bible. I wonder if I can put my name on there. I don't know, but
Why not?
well, like how people like engrave it on the front of them. So I don't know. Yep. I'm just still trying to not hit the snooze button. So
Yes, I love it. I always get chills anytime you talk about how you overcame your prior situation and your past relationship. It always makes me like, it's so empowering to me. Like, it inspires me. So,
well, yeah.
You're welcome. Who wants to go next?
Oh,
All right, Candace, go ahead.
okay. I'll go. So let's see, unique or weird. Something really weird is I hardly sweat, like ever. I can drink like gallons of water and barely sweat. Like I think it's a problem. I don't know. It's really weird. I wish I would sweat because I feel like I'm not like working out my hardest. I know that's really weird, but I don't. Something else I have, this is kind of weird and unique. I have scoliosis really bad, so I'm like super crooked if you look at me in a bikini. It's really weird, but I've just kind of like dealt with it my whole life, so it is what it is.
I have scoliosis too.
Do you? I didn't know that.
Not severely. One of my sisters has it really bad, where she's thought about surgery, but
yeah. I don't want to dive in that deep too. It doesn't really like bother me very much as long as I stay adjusted and like stay active and working out. So like stuff like this just really helps. Unique, I have twin boys. They're 18 months old, almost 19 months old. So I'm just a boy mom. And what makes me normal, I work and I go to school and I come home and do all that stuff. Trying to think anything else. Something else unique. My significant other travels for work, so he's gone all the time. So I'm home with the boys a lot. So just me and the boys most of the time. And things I have overcome, like Elena, postpartum depression, anxiety, those types of things. Also, trying to think. I don't really know. It's like hard to think off the top of your head.
you were married before, right?
Do what?
You were married before, right?
Yes, I was married before. So then like now where I'm at in my relationship with my boys and things like that, like I've had to overcome a lot of like, obviously like insecurities in my relationship and not being married and having my boys with my boy's dad, and like hoping that one day we get married. So that's like something I overcome constantly, but we do live together and have a house together, and we've been together for like 3 years now. So yeah, that's all good. But that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I have twin boys. I go to school and I work, and get my workouts in. I work out at night too. That's another thing, I guess. I like to work out at night. I can't wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning and get my workouts in. So maybe I need to learn how to overcome that at some point in time.
Hey, keep hanging out with us and we'll rub off on you.
Yeah.
I think
it's a
there's
goal.
been many people in this group that were not morning people when they started.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's a goal for sure to be able to do those in the morning. So, but that's me.
I love it. I love it. Tori or Jesse, either of you? Here's Tori.
I'll go. So I have a lot of similarities as Candace. I feel like I was married before, no kids from my previous marriage. I got married pretty young. And so I do have one boy right now, so boy mom, and Keenan and I are not married. We have been together for about 3 years now. Something unique or weird is I'm terrified of frogs, but I will jump in a corral full of cows, which is like the craziest thing ever. I hate frogs. When I was a kid, my uncle like pinned me down and shoved them in my face, so just like trauma.
I know how to prank you.
Normal. Oh, it's ridiculous. I am a teacher. I used to teach 5th grade special ed, then I moved to 1st grade special ed, and now I am a kindergarten through 2nd behavior teacher. So I feel like that kind of makes me normal, being a teacher. The behavior part, probably not. I also currently still on, which I'm actually super excited about because I'm ready. Also a wedding, family, and newborn photographer. So I got a lot of hats that I juggle. Some things in life that I've overcome. The divorce would probably be the first thing, but when I was pregnant with my son at 32 weeks, our house burnt down. It's pretty much a total loss. We got to pull out like a couple of drawers of clothes that we could try to like salvage at the laundromat. So that was pretty nerve-wracking and scary. And then 6 short weeks later, this little guy came into the world. So I also struggle with the postpartum depression, but being a new mom, I was pretty much alone a lot. So that led me to have a lot of anger and resentment. But we are better than ever now. So I think that that's like the biggest thing that we have had to overcome. So
I love it. I love it. And I forgot about that story where everything burned down when you were like very pregnant. And I'm like, oh, I got chills, like just thinking of what that would have been like and all you had to overcome after that. So very powerful.
yeah, we were actually working, shopping at Hobby Lobby for the nursery, and he called.
Oh my gosh.
So it was
can't
just
imagine.
like happened. But it's crazy.
Yeah. All right, Jesse, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm still trying to get this down. Okay. Well, I am not married and have not really dated or been in relationships. So, yeah, I am single. I love hockey with a passion, and I just found out today I'm going to the All-Star game this Saturday, so I'm super excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all 3 days I'm going to be down there hanging around downtown St. Louis. Woo! So that's something that makes me pretty unique, is how diehard I am. even my basement. You can see it all in there. But let's see. I don't know. Just that I'm almost 31 and I've not been in serious relationship or anywhere close to marriage. So I guess that's kind of weird.
You're an independent woman.
That's right. I'm independent. I was a teacher for 7 years. So I taught math for, or at high school level for 5 years, and then 5th through 8th grade math for 2 years, and decided, and taught college at the same time, and realized I can't stand this. I love the kids, but knew that that was not my calling because I would cry all the time and have to work so many jobs and so tired, and it was terrible, which is why coaching helped save me and gave me the confidence to get out of that. So, I mean, that kind of makes me normal too, that people struggle with their job and finding exactly what they're meant to do. And I think I'm still searching for that, but now I'm working in IT, which is not anything I ever thought I'd be doing because I don't know anything about IT. So I'm still trying to find my way, but I am a lot happier than I had been while teaching, so it's helped. Let's see, and things in life I've overcome, well, teaching and the anxiety that came from that and all the tears that were shed during that time. Also similar of during all of that time, I was dealing with abuse too, and you're gonna make me cry, but
You're gonna make me cry.
it was not anything that I opened up about until the last couple of years. And when I opened up about that abuse, then I also opened up for the first time about the abuse that happened 15 years ago in my family. And so that's been, I feel so much stronger now because of coaching that I can open up about what half of my life has been dealing with. And so, yeah, people never realized that about me and understood why I'm as anxious as I am, and the struggles that I face every day with that, and kind of why it's never found those serious relationships and the strong connections. Always been pretty hesitant about those kinds of things. So, yeah, it's been quite a journey, but that's been, yeah, half my life that I'm trying to overcome, and I'm getting there, stronger every day. So coaching has been the biggest thing, or just in the fitness world, getting started with my health journey is what's helped me get through a lot of it.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Every single one of you said something that literally like sent chill bumps down my arms. And I think it's those things that make what you have to offer someone else so powerful. And I know that it's hard. It's not easy at all to slowly share bits and pieces of those parts of your story. But those are probably the biggest ones that God can use you to help someone else overcome that same thing that you are working to overcome. And that is the beauty in what we get to do as coaches. And that is something that I love far more than just helping someone lose weight. Like, I love it. And I think that the more you all find it, that you're able to step out in bravery and start sharing things like that outside of like just the fitness and health realm, like that is when you will find your people, like for real, your people. Like, because I don't hear anybody on this team say that they don't deal with anxiety. And had I not ever shared about things like that with myself, you all might not have ever related to me and started connecting with me. So that's just something to think about, something to pray about. And I will be sharing this presentation whenever I share the recording of this call, but feel free to write these questions down because these are the questions that make awesome posting material. So go to the next slide. So with all those questions in the back of your mind, you want to think about who is your ideal coach and who is your ideal client. Because the people that make good clients usually are the ones that make good coaches, but sometimes you will find people that you just connect with on social media in a really real way, not just someone that you watch just because they have this extravagant life and you like want to fantasize, but someone that you really feel like you connect with because they're in the same profession as you, because they have the same number of kids as you, or they're single and independent like you, or they have overcome or would like to overcome some of the same things that you are working or have overcome. And those are the people that the more they connect with us and the more they trust us, those are the ones that we want to work with. And like I kind of said in the beginning, it's important to remember that while we wish we could, we cannot help everyone. There's going to be people that will come and go through different seasons and phases of our coaching journey. And you just have to trust that you left some kind of an impact on them that lasts. And sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they stick with you and they're in this for the long haul. But we gain the most energy from helping women who are or have been where we once were, because those are the kind of women that will gain the most from working with us and us them. So just something to keep in mind. And this is why I think it's so important to share those vulnerable parts of our journey just as much as we share like the positives and like the successful parts of our journey. All right, so why do we sometimes settle for lesser versions of ourselves? And this is like the limiting beliefs we have, or the things that put us in the fixed mindset, or those past hurtful experiences that we have or are working to overcome. They leave a real impact on us, and they can keep us from believing in ourselves. They can make us play small or think that we are smaller than we are. But when it comes down to it, a lot of why we settle for lesser versions of ourselves is because we settle for a lesser version of God, which is a really hard pill to swallow. But I have seen, first and foremost, over the last it's been almost 4.5 years now that I've been a coach. And had I not trusted God in the very beginning when I decided to coach, and then have since been using Him and leaning into Him and growing through Him to start to share more of those vulnerable and hard parts of what make me me, like that is when I've really started to, I don't know why that left. That is when I've really started to, I feel like, come into the me that He created me to be. And it's helped me to develop a more powerful relationship with Him as well. So that's something to consider. Let's see, how do I get this back up? One second. All right. Back. So, and this is the part that I really got from church over the weekend. There are 5 versions of us. So this is something to kind of think about and really kind of put into perspective why you maybe are the way you are, why you maybe be holding back from becoming the person you're truly meant to be, and who could really blossom and flourish and go out there and bravely and boldly help other women through this journey. And the first one is the expectations of others, the me that others want me to be. So I know that was a huge, huge obstacle I had to overcome when I first became a coach, because I'm a huge people pleaser. I had some of my sisters, all of them at first, kind of poked fun at me, I might be the oldest, so this is one way I'm unique. I might be the oldest, but all my younger sisters bully me, not the other way around. They're all taller than me, they're all meaner than me, and they're all a lot more brave than me in some ways. And so I worried a lot about what they thought. In fact, one of my youngest sisters actually commented on one of my posts on Instagram today saying, "Oh, I don't remember doing that for you whenever I was younger." Like, she keeps, the last 2 weeks, she has like tried calling out parts of my story and tried being negative, and I just delete her comment. So, because I'm like, really, you would have been like 1.5 or 2. Of course you don't remember that. But I deal a lot with backlash from that. And I know that there's times they don't necessarily mean it that way, but it is something that I've really had to overcome. And I've just really dug into coaching, and believe that God has me here for a reason. And those things don't bother me as much as they used to. And honestly, I've kind of had to distance myself, and there's sometimes I've called them out on it, but that's something that I think through coaching and through really leaning into God too, we can start to overcome those things. The second one is the imitation of success, the me I think I want to be. So this is why when it comes to coaching in your goals, like, I might try to like push you and help you see the potential that I could see you having. But if you're not there yet, I do not want you to try to become or step into something that you don't feel you're ready for yet. So I don't want you to think you need to be a diamond or a star diamond coach or like do all these things. If you don't feel that's where you are right now, I want you guys to come there on your own. I might bring it up to you, but that's a decision you guys ultimately have to make on your own. So you can relate that to coaching, you can relate that to your personal life, and really all aspects of life. I think as a mom, like, that's something that I deal with a lot, like feeling like I have to like try to keep up and do this and this. And I'm like, I'm not that type of mom. Like, I'm not a Pinterest mom. I'm not a crafting mom. I'm a hang out and give tough loves to my kids mom. So that's something that we have to kind of mull over and think of what things we think we need to be, but maybe not necessarily are who we were meant to be. The next one is the infatuation of money, the me they pay me to be. Now, this is a really powerful one because I know that so many people stay in jobs because of the money. They might be completely miserable, feel like they never get to have a voice or a say in what they do. They feel like they never are appreciated, yet they will stay in that job because of what they are getting paid to be. And that is something that, thankfully, I personally have never dealt with. And that's why I've always worked multiple part-time jobs, so I never have to get to a place where I have to become something I'm not. I don't ever have to really answer to anyone that much. But I know that there are so many people that do. This is something I know my husband sometimes struggles with. And there's days he comes home miserable, but he feels like he has to do it because I am a stay-at-home mom. And so this is a huge drive for me with coaching too, is I want him to be able to someday do what he truly wants to do and not feel like he has to be tied to a profession that maybe doesn't always give him joy. The next one is the preoccupation of life. So the me time makes of me. This is a big one because I know that is probably one of the biggest objections we will get with coaching is people thinking they just don't have enough time. And we know because all of us are busy in different ways. And if we can make the time, and we have women in our groups who are even busier than us, if any of us can make the time, we know that other people can. They just aren't in the right state of mind. And we as coaches get to help them get there. So we can share like our experience or the things we do for time management, or we can give examples of others. We can post about this. But it's something that is very, very much hard obstacle for many to overcome. But once they do, they're like, why wasn't I doing this all along? I know many of us have heard that time and time again, the more we get to help women. And the last one is the projection of self, the me I fantasize to be. And this right here is a big reason why I stopped following like any coaches that aren't on our team, because it's not necessarily that I compared my life to them, but I'm not a patient person. And I kept seeing myself as wanting to be where they were a lot sooner, a lot faster. And it was sucking the joy out of my life. And it was keeping me from appreciating the success I was having, the little wins I was having with coaching. And so if you're someone who follows a bunch of people that you feel like you're constantly fantasizing, and you start to see yourself as like this little unsuccessful or not as, not as important person, then that is something you might need to do a real gut check and consider stepping away from that or unfollowing them or whatever. Social media is like the worst for putting us in that state of mind. All right. So the last thing is, how do we get back to the me God made us to be? And honestly, I think a lot of it has to come through personal development. And it says we have less than 1 minute, so I'm going to try to be quick. A lot of the personal development, self-help books we can read, podcasts, devotionals, reading the Bible, going to church, and having these conversations. And honestly, I think through posting, that is a huge way that I learned how to be the me God made me to be. The more I started sharing my story and kind of using it as like a journal, the more I realized about myself and who God wanted me to be. So I know we're about to get kicked off, so I want to end this on a good note. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to hit me up or post them where I posted the link for this event in our event page. We can talk more. But I thank you all for getting on this call